We say, I love you all the time, don't we? It slips out in moments of comfort, habit, even fear of silence. But words are fragile. They can be repeated endlessly, yet still fail to convey what truly matters. Real love isn't a phrase, it's a rhythm, a presence, a series of choices that happen long after the moment has passed. It's in showing up when it's hard, in listening when no one else is paying attention, in staying patient when frustration is easier. It's in the quiet acts that don't make a story worth sharing, but make a heart feel safe. Imagine someone who doesn't just say, I love you, but proves it in every small, deliberate way, every single day. That's the kind of love that lingers, that shapes people, that doesn't need words to be remembered, because it is felt deeply and endlessly. Loving through consistency rather than declarations means that love is measured not by the ease of a momentary confession, but by the reliability of presence over time. Saying, I love you, can be powerful, but without consistent actions to back it up, it is often hollow. Words are fleeting, they can be spoken in a moment of comfort, influenced by excitement or emotion, and then forgotten. Consistency, however, builds a foundation that words alone cannot create. It is the repeated choice to be present, to honor commitments, and to act in ways that align with one's feelings, even when it is inconvenient or exhausting. This kind of love is visible not in grand gestures alone, but in the quiet, steady rhythm of daily choices that affirm care, respect, and commitment. Consistency in love means showing up emotionally, not just physically. It means being available when someone is vulnerable, even when your own life is chaotic. It means remembering details about their day, their fears, their dreams, and acting in ways that demonstrate understanding and consideration. It is the small but persistent actions that accumulate over time to form a sense of security. When someone experiences consistent love, they feel safe. They trust that the care they receive is real, not conditional, and not dictated by convenience. That trust forms the bedrock of intimacy and emotional connection. Another dimension of consistency is reliability in behavior. People notice when actions align with words, when promises are kept, when commitments are honored, and when intentions are followed through. The heart begins to anchor itself in that consistency. This is far more powerful than verbal declarations because it transcends fleeting emotion and demonstrates stability. Love, in this sense, becomes less about rhetoric and more about experience. Each repeated action is a testament to devotion, reinforcing the emotional truth that love is not just said but lived. Consistency also reveals integrity. Someone who loves through actions rather than words demonstrates authenticity. They don't rely on declarations to compensate for inconsistency or inattention. Their affection is measured not in how often they say it, but in how often they prove it through tangible support, thoughtfulness, and presence. When love is expressed consistently, it communicates that the person is reliable not only in moments of comfort and joy, but also in times of challenge, fatigue, or conflict. It shows that love is a conscious choice, not a fleeting sentiment. The cumulative effect of consistency is transformative. Over time, it instills a sense of emotional safety that words cannot replicate. People begin to relax into the relationship, letting down guards they would normally hold up. They don't have to question the authenticity of care because it is repeatedly demonstrated. They don't need constant reassurances because the evidence of love is visible in patterns of behavior. That depth of trust and security cannot be manufactured through repeated verbal affirmations alone. It is earned in the quiet persistence of action. Consistency also teaches patience and empathy. Someone who loves consistently is attuned to the ebb and flow of the other person's emotions. They respond thoughtfully rather than reactively. They accommodate imperfections without judgment and offer support without expectation. This creates a feedback loop in which love is not transactional, but reciprocal. The presence of consistent care allows the other person to grow, to explore vulnerability, and to feel understood in a way that words alone rarely achieve. Ultimately, Loving through consistency rather than declarations transforms the way love is experienced. It shifts the focus from verbal affirmation to lived experience, from fleeting emotion to sustained reliability. It makes love tangible, measurable not in phrases but in the repeated choices to care, understand, and support. It demonstrates that love is not something that needs to be spoken to exist, but something that is proven through action. In this way, consistency becomes the language of love itself, a language that doesn't need to be said to be felt, remembered, or trusted. Actions creating emotional safety more than words do is one of the most profound ways love can be expressed. Saying, "I love you," is meaningful, but words alone can't hold someone's heart, shield their vulnerability, or make them feel secure. Emotional safety is built on reliability, empathy, understanding, and patience. It is the atmosphere that allows someone to lower their guard and be fully seen without fear of judgment or abandonment. Actions are the conduit through which this safety is established. Showing up consistently, honoring commitments, and responding with care even in difficult moments communicates more than any phrase ever could. Words can be forgotten, misinterpreted, or delivered in moments of emotion, but actions become the evidence of enduring care, the proof that someone's love is steadfast rather than performative. Creating emotional safety requires attentiveness. It's about noticing the subtle signs of discomfort, stress, or fear and responding with understanding rather than judgment. When someone feels overwhelmed, emotional safety is conveyed by listening without interruption, validating feelings without dismissing them, and providing reassurance without condescension. It's not about solving every problem, but about being present in the moments when support is needed. Actions that communicate safety include small gestures, checking in when you said you would, following through on promises, offering help without being asked, or simply being physically or emotionally available during difficult times. These gestures silently affirm that the person can rely on you, that their feelings matter, and that they are valued beyond superficial attraction or convenience. Consistency plays a key role in building emotional safety. It's not the occasional act of kindness or moment of attentiveness that instills security. It's the repeated demonstration of care over time. When actions consistently align with words, trust is solidified. A person begins to internalize the reliability of your presence and the authenticity of your intentions. They don't constantly question whether you mean what you say because your behavior consistently reflects the truth behind your words. That level of trust cannot be manufactured with declarations alone. It must be earned through repeated, intentional acts that signal attentiveness, respect, and commitment. Emotional safety is also fostered by nonverbal communication. Small, seemingly inconsequential gestures like maintaining eye contact, offering a reassuring touch, or simply sitting quietly with someone in their moment of struggle carry immense weight. These actions convey attentiveness and presence in a way that words often cannot. A reassuring smile, a gentle hand on the shoulder, or simply holding space for silence communicates, "I am here with you. You are not alone. You are safe." These actions bypass the intellect and speak directly to the emotional core, making the person feel secure and valued at a fundamental level. Another critical element is predictability in behavior. When people know what to expect from you, they feel emotionally anchored. Erratic reactions, inconsistent support, or unpredictable engagement can generate anxiety and insecurity. On the other hand, a steady presence, thoughtful responses, and dependable care provide a framework within which someone can relax emotionally. They don't have to constantly assess your intentions or fear abrupt withdrawal of affection. That stability, communicated through consistent action, becomes a cornerstone of emotional safety and deep emotional connection. Creating safety also involves respecting boundaries. Actions that honor personal limits and emotional needs demonstrate attentiveness and empathy, showing that you understand someone's need for space, listening without judgment, or giving time for reflection, all signal respect for their individuality. This reinforces trust because the person knows that your care is not controlling or conditional. Love expressed through action prioritizes the other person's comfort and dignity, which deepens connection far more effectively than repeating verbal affirmations of affection. Ultimately, actions that cultivate emotional safety are what transform love from a fleeting sentiment into a lived experience. Words are important, but without the consistent reinforcement of attentive, caring, and reliable behavior, they remain abstract and easily forgotten. Emotional safety is the environment in which love thrives. It allows vulnerability, nurtures trust, and enables authentic intimacy. Through repeated, thoughtful, and present actions, love is made tangible, felt deeply, and remembered long after any words have been spoken. Presence matters more than promises because love is experienced in moments, not in abstract commitments. Words can be empty if they are not supported by consistent action, and promises, no matter how beautifully articulated, lose meaning when they are not paired with genuine presence. Being present is not simply showing up physically, it is immersing yourself emotionally, mentally, and energetically in the lives of those you care about. It is the conscious decision to be attentive, to engage, and to respond in ways that make someone feel seen, valued, and understood. Presence is an active choice that cannot be outsourced, delayed, or postponed. It communicates that the person matters enough to occupy your attention fully, even in the midst of life's distractions and challenges. Being present means participating in the emotional life of another person. It is noticing when they are tired, anxious, or withdrawn, and responding with empathy rather than indifference. It is offering your time, focus, and energy without expecting reciprocation or immediate reward. A person who is truly present listens actively, remembers details, and shows up in ways that create a sense of security. Presence is demonstrated through small, deliberate actions, putting aside distractions to engage fully in conversation, offering a comforting touch, or simply sharing silent moments that convey solidarity. These gestures, though subtle, carry more weight than words because they are tangible evidence of care and attention. Presence also conveys reliability in ways promises cannot. Anyone can say, "I will be there," but few people follow through with the consistency and attentiveness that genuine presence requires. When someone experiences your presence repeatedly, they begin to internalize the certainty that they can count on you. That certainty forms the foundation of trust and emotional intimacy. It allows them to relax into the relationship without fear of abandonment, disappointment, or neglect. Promises are theoretical, presence is experiential. It transforms abstract commitments into lived reality. Another dimension of presence is emotional attunement. Being present means being sensitive to moods, energies, and subtle cues. It is recognizing when someone needs space, encouragement, or reassurance, and responding appropriately. This attunement communicates that you are not just physically there, but emotionally and mentally engaged. It signals awareness, empathy, and genuine investment in their well-being. Such engagement creates a sense of safety because the other person knows they are being observed and understood beyond superficial levels. Presence becomes a vessel through which love, trust, and connection are transmitted naturally without the need for repeated verbal affirmation. Presence also requires patience and mindfulness. Life is often messy, chaotic, and demanding, and yet choosing to be present in moments of discomfort or difficulty communicates profound love. It is easy to offer attention when circumstances are convenient or when interactions are enjoyable. True presence is tested when things are inconvenient, when emotions run high, or when challenges arise. Showing up consistently in those moments demonstrates the depth of your care. It communicates that love is not conditional and that your engagement is not limited by circumstance. That level of devotion cannot be replicated by words or promises alone. The impact of presence extends beyond immediate interaction. It leaves lasting emotional imprints. A person who has been consistently seen, heard, and attended to experiences a form of validation that words alone cannot provide. They carry the sense of being valued into future moments, relationships, and life experiences. Presence shapes memory, influencing how love, trust, and emotional security are perceived long after a single interaction has ended. Promises fade in memory, but presence, through repeated and conscious action, leaves an enduring impression. Ultimately, presence matters more than promises because it turns abstract intention into reality. It grounds love in the tangible, the experiential, and the undeniable. While words can inspire hope or excitement temporarily, presence sustains it over time. It demonstrates commitment, care, and emotional attunement in ways that cannot be faked or ignored. By being fully present, one communicates the depth and authenticity of their love, creating an enduring connection that is felt, remembered, and trusted long beyond the fleeting power of verbal declarations. Understanding someone deeply as a form of love is an expression that transcends words and declarations. It is not about knowing surface details or remembering facts about their daily life. It is about perceiving the emotional, mental, and even spiritual layers of who they are. To understand someone deeply is to see the subtle shifts in their mood, the unspoken worries they carry, the fears they try to hide, and the dreams they may not voice aloud. It requires active listening, empathy, and the willingness to look beyond appearances or pretense. When someone experiences this level of understanding, they feel seen in a way that words like, "I love you," often fail to capture, because they realize that someone has recognized the fullness of their being without judgment or expectation. True understanding involves patience and attention. People are complex, often contradictory, and constantly evolving. To truly understand someone requires observing patterns, recognizing triggers, and noticing moments of vulnerability that they may not even articulate. It is about valuing their emotions as valid, whether or not they align with your own perspective. You don't attempt to fix or correct them, you simply recognize and validate their experience. This kind of understanding communicates love because it tells the other person, without saying it aloud, "I see you for who you truly are, and I honor it." Understanding someone deeply also demands emotional resilience. It is not always easy or comfortable to witness another person's insecurities, anxieties, or pain. Many people shy away from it, offering superficial comfort or temporary distraction instead. But when you choose to understand someone fully, you accept the weight of their humanity without withdrawing your support or attention. That presence in complexity communicates a profound form of love. It is through this understanding that emotional bonds are strengthened because it allows intimacy to flourish in a space free from pretense and judgment. Another aspect of deep understanding is anticipating needs without being asked. By observing, listening, and learning the rhythms of someone's life and emotional world, you begin to act in ways that meet their needs intuitively. This might be providing comfort when they feel overwhelmed, offering encouragement when they doubt themselves, or simply giving space when they require solitude. These actions, informed by deep understanding, convey love more powerfully than words ever could, because they demonstrate attentiveness, care, and commitment. They show that you have invested effort into truly knowing the other person, and that your love is active, not performative. Understanding someone deeply also cultivates trust. When a person feels genuinely understood, they feel safe to be vulnerable. They do not need to guard their thoughts or emotions because they know that their inner world is acknowledged and respected. That sense of safety allows them to express themselves fully, fostering emotional intimacy that words like, "I love you," alone cannot sustain. Over time, this trust becomes a foundation upon which relationships are built, creating resilience against misunderstandings, disagreements, and external pressures. The lasting impact of understanding someone deeply is subtle but profound. People often carry the memory of being truly understood far longer than they remember declarations of affection. It shapes how they relate to others, how they perceive themselves, and how they evaluate emotional connections in the future. Once someone has experienced being seen and understood without judgment, it is difficult to settle for superficial affection or performative gestures. The experience sets a standard for emotional connection that others are measured against, not through comparison alone, but through the lingering sense of being authentically recognized. Ultimately, understanding someone deeply as a demonstration of love is about engaging with their full humanity. It is an act of presence, patience, empathy, and emotional investment that transcends words. While verbal expressions can initiate connection, deep understanding sustains it. It communicates care, respect, and commitment in ways that are felt rather than simply heard. Love expressed through understanding becomes a quiet force, shaping relationships, fostering trust, and leaving an enduring imprint that resonates far beyond the spoken word. Choosing someone daily as a way to express love is about more than commitment or loyalty. It is a conscious, repeated act of prioritization, attention, and emotional investment. Love is often romanticized as something that exists passively or spontaneously, but real love is active. It requires intention, especially when life becomes chaotic, exhausting, or complicated. Saying, I love you once or expressing affection in moments of excitement is fleeting. Choosing someone daily is the ongoing proof that love is alive, that it persists beyond convenience, attraction, or circumstance. This choice signals that the person matters enough to be prioritized consistently, that their presence in your life is a deliberate decision rather than an assumption or habit. Choosing someone daily requires awareness of the ebb and flow of life. People are not static, and relationships are not immune to challenges. Emotions fluctuate, priorities shift, and external pressures build. In this dynamic, love expressed as choice is a stabilizing force. It says, without words, even when things are difficult, even when life demands more than it used to, I am here for you. This daily choice is a reassurance that love is not conditional upon ideal circumstances, but is rooted in commitment, understanding, and attentiveness. It is the daily actions, checking in, listening, supporting, sharing, that make the connection tangible, reinforcing trust and intimacy over time. Choosing someone daily also conveys emotional responsibility. It demonstrates that love is not passive or self-serving. It requires effort, empathy, and sacrifice, sometimes in ways that are invisible or unrecognized. Showing up consistently for someone through presence, thoughtful gestures, or emotional support reinforces the stability of the relationship and creates a sense of safety. That sense of safety is foundational because it allows vulnerability to flourish. When someone knows they are chosen not just in words but in repeated, conscious actions, they can relax emotionally, trust more deeply, and fully engage in intimacy without fear of sudden abandonment. This daily choice also honors individuality and growth. Choosing someone isn't about controlling them or expecting them to conform to an ideal. It's about valuing their evolving self, acknowledging changes, and deciding to continue investing in the relationship regardless of the minor fluctuations in mood, circumstance, or personality. True love expressed through consistent choice allows for mutual growth. It supports a balance where both individuals feel secure in their autonomy while simultaneously being nurtured within the partnership. This balance deepens connection, resilience, and emotional fulfillment, making love a lived experience rather than a transient sentiment. Another critical element is intention. Choosing someone daily requires conscious reflection and decision making. It is not a mechanical routine or a passive drift. It is actively noticing the person's needs, valuing their presence, and responding to them in ways that reinforce the connection. These intentional choices accumulate over time, creating a pattern that the other person internalizes as reliability, care, and affection. That accumulation often carries more weight than dramatic gestures or verbal proclamations because it builds a foundation of trust and stability that sustains relationships even when challenges arise. The cumulative effect of daily choice is profound. People often remember the consistency of care more than singular expressions of love. When someone is chosen repeatedly, they feel affirmed, secure, and genuinely valued. They understand that love is not dependent on performance, circumstance, or fleeting emotion. It is a deliberate, ongoing commitment that shapes the emotional fabric of the relationship. That realization influences how they perceive love, what they expect from future connections, and how deeply they can trust and engage in intimacy. Ultimately, choosing someone daily transforms love from an abstract idea into a tangible, lived reality. It communicates commitment without relying solely on words. It demonstrates care through action, presence, and attentiveness. It builds emotional safety, fosters intimacy, and creates a lasting sense of security and trust. Choosing someone every day is not about grand gestures. It is about the persistent, intentional decisions to honor, support, and engage with another person fully. That repeated act of devotion is often the most profound expression of love because it proves in a concrete and enduring way that love is not just felt, it is actively lived. Respect, patience, and reliability as expressions of love are often overlooked, yet they form the foundation of a connection that is enduring, meaningful, and deeply felt. Love is frequently romanticized as passion, excitement, or dramatic gestures, but the quiet virtues, respect, patience, and reliability, are what sustain relationships through the inevitable challenges of life. These qualities demonstrate that love is not a fleeting emotion, but an ongoing commitment to honor another person's humanity, to navigate life's difficulties together, and to provide emotional security that words alone cannot convey. Each of these elements, respect, patience, and reliability, carries profound weight because they translate abstract affection into tangible, lived experience that is felt consistently over time. Respect is the cornerstone of mature love. It manifests in the way you listen without judgment, honor boundaries, and acknowledge someone's individuality. To respect someone is to recognize that their thoughts, feelings, and experiences are valid, even when they differ from your own. Respect in love means refraining from attempts to control or manipulate, avoiding dismissive language, and honoring their choices and autonomy. When someone feels respected, they experience freedom within the relationship, a sense that their true self is valued rather than edited or molded to fit another's expectations. This kind of respect communicates love more powerfully than repeated verbal affirmations because it demonstrates a deep understanding of the other person's worth and dignity. Patience is another crucial expression of enduring love. Relationships are not linear, and people are not perfect. Emotions fluctuate, misunderstandings occur, and challenges arise that require time to process and resolve. Patience in love is the ability to remain present and supportive without rushing, pressuring, or reacting impulsively. It allows space for growth, healing, and adaptation. When someone experiences patience from a partner, they feel accepted even in moments of struggle, and they can navigate vulnerabilities without fear of judgment or abandonment. Patience communicates that love is not conditional upon immediate perfection or performance, but is rooted in understanding and long-term commitment. Reliability reinforces love through consistent action and dependability. Words alone can promise care, commitment, or attention, but only consistent behavior proves those promises are real. Being reliable means showing up when expected, following through on commitments, and maintaining emotional steadiness. It signals that the other person can trust you in small and large matters alike. Reliability builds a sense of safety within the relationship, creating a foundation upon which intimacy and vulnerability can flourish. People internalize reliability as evidence that they are valued and that their emotional needs are taken seriously, which strengthens trust and deepens connection over time. Together, respect, patience, and reliability create an environment in which love is not just expressed, but experienced fully. Respect ensures that the person feels seen and valued for who they are. Patience allows them to navigate imperfections, fears, and challenges without fear of rejection. Reliability reinforces trust and demonstrates that love is not situational or performative, but steadfast and enduring. These qualities operate quietly yet powerfully, often without the need for verbal reinforcement, because they are felt through consistent interaction, thoughtful attention, and the integrity of one's actions. In practical terms, demonstrating these qualities involves everyday choices and behaviors. Respect may appear as listening attentively, acknowledging feelings, and honoring boundaries. Patience may show up in waiting for someone to process emotions, offering calm guidance during conflict, or allowing space for mistakes without criticism. Reliability may be evident in remembering important commitments, maintaining consistent presence, and responding predictably in moments of need. While these actions may seem ordinary, their accumulation over time conveys a depth of love that is unforgettable. The impact of demonstrating love through respect, patience, and reliability extends far beyond immediate moments of interaction. It shapes how people perceive the relationship, how they respond emotionally, and how they carry experiences of love into future connections. When these qualities are present, love feels safe, enduring, and trustworthy. It creates a sense of emotional security that allows vulnerability, authenticity, and intimacy to thrive. In contrast, love expressed solely through words or fleeting passion lacks this foundation and can leave the other person feeling unsettled, uncertain, or unsupported. Ultimately, respect, patience, and reliability are not just virtues, they are a language of love. They translate affection into tangible experience, conveying care, understanding, and commitment in ways that words alone cannot. These qualities create the conditions for trust, deepen intimacy, and leave an enduring impression that shapes how love is remembered, felt, and understood. Love expressed through these quiet yet powerful behaviors becomes a living, breathing force that sustains relationships and resonates long after spoken words have faded. In the end, saying, "I love you," is just the beginning. It is not enough on its own. True love is expressed through the quiet, consistent language of actions, through showing up, offering presence, understanding deeply, choosing someone daily, and embodying respect, patience, and reliability. Words can start a connection, but it is these deliberate, sustained actions that make love real, trustworthy, and unforgettable. When someone experiences love in this way, they feel safe, valued, and profoundly seen. They carry the memory of it forward, not because of what was said, but because of how it was lived. Real love doesn't need repetition to be remembered. It resonates through experience, shaping hearts, relationships, and expectations long after the moment has passed. That is the kind of love that endures, transforms, and truly matters.